What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. Why does this act like the sound is not picking up? Okay, there it is. So, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. It is Saturday, June 11th, about 12:30 Eastern, and we are basically 5 days away from loading up the Typhoon on the trailer and headed to Rocky Mountain Race Week. It has been a busy week, nonstop. What up, Super Slow? Just got done installing the Racetronics upgraded fuel pump system, which is pretty trick. Basically, it upgrades the in-tank pump to just a 255. 255, I think, is what it was. Yeah, 255, which is more than enough for this setup. But it comes with a new harness, runs a new lead up to your alternator, and then has a breakout harness back where the original connection to the fuel pump is, that installs a relay back there. And essentially, your existing fuel pump relay still works in the same way, but it triggers the other lead to give it more power because it's a bigger power lead on there to make sure that you're not having any voltage drops over there. So really trick, like it, worked out great. Surprisingly, it took me about all morning to do, but I had to drain the tank and drop the tank. Getting the tank back up in there was a pain, but not bad overall, I will say. Just kind of one of those things, getting the lines hooked back up because the lines are hooked up on top of the tank. There's no short area where you can disconnect outside of the tank. So you have to kind of get the tank hanging sideways and do this, get reached up in there. But other than that, I don't know if you can see the front suspension is torn out of the Typhoon. I'm in the process of waiting on parts. Yesterday I replaced the U-joints in the drive took it out earlier. Well, what ended up happening was the lockup solenoid on the transmission was not acting right. And so Perform Built sent me a new solenoid, swapped that out. That fixed that problem. And then Chevy for Life, I think it's got like the short one, the 13-gallon. It's pretty small. Smallest tank I've ever dealt with. But now under hard acceleration, it was getting a vibration. And so I know that the driver front CV axle had a little slop in it. I'm hoping that solves it. So I'm replacing the CV axles, front half shafts, ball joints, and of course I upgraded or replaced the U joints in the drive shaft. Now, the only other thing that it could be is maybe we're getting a little bit of axle wrap and the pinion angles getting a little bit out of wonk whenever it's under hard acceleration because it's making a lot more power than it ever has. Hi, Mom. Good afternoon to you. So, as I said, waiting on parts. I've got one drive shaft sitting here ready to go back in, but there's no reason to really stick it in there yet because I don't have the ball joints. They'll be here this afternoon, and then we'll button the front end back up. It's about 1 o'clock. So, button it back up, and then I've got a couple wires to run. And yeah. Swapped it, fit the bear tank street truck, and had a small black. Yep, didn't want to pull it out. One gas station pulling to the next. Yeah, I hear you. I ran out of gas the other day. Was on the side of the road for an hour and a half, and it's because I was paying attention to the transmission controller and not the gas gauge. Well, Joseph. So had I been paying attention to the gas gauge, I would have known that I needed to stop and get gas. At the same time, though, I was trying to run the tank down, so I didn't have to drain that much out of the tank to drop it. But luckily, where the inline fuel filter is, pulled the fuel filter out because I was replacing it anyways, and literally had a fitting with a hose barb on it that I could fit on the end of it, and I just turned the fuel pump on and pumped it all out. Busy Chevy for Life. Busy. I've got about 4 or 5 days worth of emails to get caught up on, hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning. If I don't get to tonight, it's definitely first thing on my list in the morning. And then, we got to be on the trailer by Thursday. So The only thing I'm worried about is possibly this shimmy being related to the transportation. If that's not the case, I'm just SOL. Not going to be able to take the Typhoon because I'm not going to be able to get a transportation time, obviously. So we'll see. We'll see. But just got done finishing kind of wiring up the gauges. I got to run one more wire down to the transmission for the transmission temp gauge. And then I am installing the formula knock sensor. I'll do a video on this later on. Talk about, aftermarket knock sensor. I talked about it a long time ago. It's been seen around. Originally, I was going to put it on the Corvette. And I thought, hey, I'll put it on the GTO. And now I'm sitting here like, why wouldn't I put this on the turbo vehicle that's going to be making like 20 plus pounds of boost? Yes, has sway bars front and rear. All the sway bar bushings look good. I need to look at the end links. Make sure the end links are still looking good. I haven't paid attention to those close enough, but everything feels pretty tight, except for, as I said, that driver's side half shaft had some slop in it. So what's everybody else been up to this weekend? Anybody doing anything fun? Just work. I actually spent quite a while yesterday cleaning the garage up, and now it's filthy again. So you know how that goes. Kids having a birthday party. Supposed to have my birthday party tonight, and then turns out that my Mrs. Garage may have been exposed to COVID on Wednesday, so we've canceled my birthday party. Blowing up my friend's junkyard 5.3. Now that sounds like fun. Dude, you got this. You've been watching the steps. You on math tuning right now? Thanks, Saxon. My birthday was, Thursday or something. I don't pay attention. I'm old enough now that I don't care. Do not care anymore. Though I did spoil myself. I got myself an electric scooter for my birthday. Boosted with no math, so SD. Hopefully it's a Gen 3 one then. You got to go to your twin's birthday party. Well, Joseph, that means it's your birthday party too, right? Yeah, Chevy for Life Fuel Tech. What up, Michigan? Well, I wanted a way to get around the pits better. Okay, later, Joseph. Fast Hippo, Cyclones are extremely high compared to Typhoons. You could still get Typhoons in the decent condition for the 15 to 20 range. Chevy for Life, I am 100% sold on Fuel Tech. There's a couple small things I'll talk about later on that I don't like, but overall, I like Fuel Tech the most out of all the standalones I've done. So I've done multiple Hollies, multiple Mega and Micro Squirt setups. I've done an AEM. Fuel Tech has been just absolute cream of the crop compared to everything else. So now I can't speak to Hall Tech or ECU Master. Well, I've also done Max ECU, which is a good one. I like Max ECU a lot, but I love the documentation on the Fuel Tech, how easy it is to set it up. The only regrets I really have is I wish I would have just gone ahead and gone with the 600 or whatever it is for the extra I/O and the display. I mean, but the Holly's nice for all the I/O, but you got to go with the Dominator. And at that price point, you can get the 600 or the 650 or whatever it is from Fuel Tech, and it's got comparable. I mean, I'm running that HP on the Nova and had to add that CAN bus I/O module on it because I ran out of I/O on it. Of course, that thing, just every time I turn around, gets more and more complicated. So I need to quit messing with it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can do a lot more of the custom stuff on this than Holly is like the worst for custom config stuff. Like modifier tables and things like that. Holly, that's one of my biggest complaints about Hollies. Countdown timer. right there. And that's actually probably about 12 hours slow. So it says 517. It's more like probably 5 days and 5 hours to get this thing done. But I'll say, as far as the tune goes, I've got it up to about 12 or 13 psi, and it's pulling like a beast right now. The goat is being neglected. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad, and it's mad at me because it's been parked outside all week because the garage has been too full of my workbenches and tools and stuff to pull it into the garage. So it's mad, sad, and the supercharger still hasn't showed up. Always heard that Boost District was terrible about shipping stuff. Lo and behold, it's true. Do you think if he knew that I had a tuning channel with 70,000 viewers or subscribers that he might ship things a little bit quicker to me? I do not know about diesel tuning with the 5 DSP switch, and there's a long story that goes behind that that deals with the EPA in California. So 06 with the 6 liter. I had a black 05 with the 6 liter back in the day, back whenever they came out. Saxon, if your timing's shooting up to try and control your idle, your base idle airflow probably needs adjusted. So look at what your base idle airflow set to and adjust it. Most likely it needs to be adjusted up a little bit. You'll see it. It's underneath the idle table or idle section. Gran Turismo Omologato. For as big as a car this thing is, it handles amazingly well. It's very, very reserved and feels good. It's not twitchy. Like, I had an FDRX7. That thing was super twitchy. The Shelby GT350, super twitchy. Even the C6 Corvette was twitchy compared to the GTO. C7, not so much, which is crazy since it was, the Z06. Obviously, the Z06 suspension probably helped with that. But with all that power, you'd think it'd be more twitchy. The GTO, man, even the 6 liter, the 5.7, you can tell it's a little bit down on power versus the LS2. But you can drive this thing hard and not have any issues. After the SD on the 5.3, what should I look into? That's whenever you want to start looking at timing and see if you can add some timing back. Hopefully, you've already pulled some timing out. Just be careful. See you super slow. Thoughts on the new LS Droid tools? Parker, I have not downloaded it yet. I'm super stoked that they're doing it as a computer app finally. Yeah, they are a super heavy car. GTOs are pretty plump. Not quite Dodge level of plump, but pretty plump. How do you set up software for tuning BMW or any other European car? Well, it depends on what software, but if you're using HP tuners for something like a BMW, the process is pretty much the same. You need to find the airflow tables, and then you create a error graph based on the airflow tables. Essentially, you set your histograph up to look like the airflow table, and then apply your commanded versus your actual airflow or air fuel ratios, and create an error table and use that to correct. Log should tell me how much time to pull out, correct? Yeah. I mean, if you're getting into knock, if you're still on the stock timing table, you're probably getting into knock. So you need to go into the stock timing table, and depending on how much boost you're running, can be an indication. So if you're running, 8 to 10 psi, you probably need to pull at least 6 degrees out on the top end once you get into boost. To be safe, you can try adding it back in later. Just don't be running naturally aspirated timing on a boosted setup, or you will blow the motor. Especially if it's a stock bottom end. LS that hasn't had the rings gapped out and stuff like that. Essentially, what'll happen is it'll get hot, and but the ring lands up together. Problem is connecting the computer and software of the car. I just want to have access to change things. I want to learn from there. Yep. That's what gets most people the first time is not pulling the timing out. And what happens is that the cylinder temps just get too high. You know, it's not even necessarily that you're getting into you can be getting into detonation and stuff like that, but a lot of times you're just getting the cylinder temps too high, running too much advance with the additional cylinder pressure. Ferris, I mean, it just depends on what software that you're working with, man. You really got to dive in and do a lot of reading and stuff to figure out how to best use the software platform that you've decided to use. All I can think about is what Adam Sandler movie is it whenever he's like, "You blew it." The one where he's in school. No, you got to use software that supports your platform. So you need to go to the different software that's out there, or you need to look up tuning software. Billy Madison, thank you, Parker. You need to look up. It's whenever he's on the phone with the teacher, right? You blew it. You need to look up what people are using for your platform. If you got a BMW and it's, say, I don't know, 2015 325i or something like that, Veronica Vaughn. She's one sexy. What was the Chris Farley says the bus driver? Whatever. That Veronica Vaughn is one hot piece of ace. I would know. No, you wouldn't. What's a safe lambda AFR for cruising speed or freeway? 14.7 is our one lambda is ideal, but you can go a little bit leaner than that if you want to fart around with it. Just be careful. Make sure that you're not running leaner than that as you start to get into. No, he didn't. But you can imagine what it would be like. Everybody on the bus, good, great, grand. I might have to go back and watch that. It's been a while. Had Norm Macdonald in it too. I need to watch Norm Macdonald's new stand-up that they released on Netflix. I say it's stand-up. I guess he shot it like at his neighbor's kitchen table, but it's his last show that he did. Love Norm Macdonald. Hated to see him pass away, but I knew he'd been fighting cancer for a long time. Let's change subjects. Any of you guys play video games? And if so, what are you playing? Yeah, I hear you, Saxon. He's been my favorite comedian forever. His delivery, man. His delivery is so brutal. Parker, I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Beaming Drive taught me the basics of stick. What the hell does that mean? SNES games. That's what I'm talking about. I've been playing Knights of the Old Republic on Switch. The first one. What is BMNG? Okay, I'll look it up. EEAMN. Why can't I? Oh, I might. What is this? Vehicle simulation video game. Of course, it's German. And the torque engine. Now you got my curiosity. Fair. Softwares normally do not require subscription. You just have to pay an upfront fee. Might require credits to do additional vehicles. Huh. Soft body physics. Dozens of refined, completely customizable vehicles. Okay, I'll check it out. I haven't fired up my gaming laptop in a while, so I'll have to download it. And there's a game called Automation where you can build engines and stuff and cars and transfer them to BMG and actually drive them. Well, that sounds cool. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Arcade Joy. Man, I don't know about Simpsons arcade game, but man, that Turtles arcade game is so good. Multiplayer mod is fun. Should start a server. We need a Goat Rope Garage server for BMNG Drive. It's a terrible name. Terrible name. You can tell it's got to be German with a name like that. Oh, dude, that X-Men was good. Do not have a Discord server. We have a Facebook group, though. And I'm actually a mod. I'm a mod on the Facebook group, even though I don't really get on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook in months because, A, I absolutely despise Facebook. And B, every time I get on Facebook, I instantly just start looking at cars. And I've already bought too many cars in the last year, so I've got to stop. I've got a problem. Honestly, after the typhoon, I'm like done doing this kind of projects. Like this stuff is so tiring. I don't want to do anything on a timetable anymore. I want to get back to just doing fun stuff and then tuning it, right? So that's what was always fun about the Super Auto is that we just did a bunch of stupid stuff to it and then went out and see if we could get it tuned in. Like I know most of you probably don't know that it was compound boosted for like a week where I rear mounted a turbocharger and plumbed it into the supercharger. It was fun. Those were the fun days. So the GTO is going to be more like that, where we have fun just doing small adjustments and playing around, stuff like that. Yeah, we do need to do nitrous on something again. It's been a while since we've done nitrous. That reminds me, I need to get the methanol injection kit set up on the Typhoon this weekend too. So much to do. Oh, there's a drag strip on BeamNG. Just got boxes of trash everywhere. Boxes of trash. Let me grab another beer. Oh, I do have one thing I want to talk about. And I'm sure everybody here has seen that I just broke my chair. I'm not that fat. Son of a... Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm still here. It just happened. Okay. I'll bring my portable stool over. No, I'm fine. It was a slow motion break. So everybody see Cletus go $6.99 in mullet? I'm sure everybody has. I'll be honest with you, I could really have a hard time following Cletus nowadays because it's just him buying a bunch of dumb shit, and you don't really see any of the process anymore. What up, Gutless? You just missed me falling out of my chair, or breaking my chair, I should say. But he needs that tank, yeah. Like he needs another hole in his head. I will be excited to see it at Rocky Mountain Race Week if he doesn't manage to just blow it up like he does everything else this week. I mean, don't get me wrong. Garrett's a great guy. He's nice. His videos don't do it for me anymore. The chair has been good to me for so long. Luckily, I think I've got 3 more of them somewhere. I just need to find them. It used to be a lot more fun to watch his videos back in the day. I will tell you that Kevin from KSR is very impressive. His work, man. Scary stuff. Yeah. I've got it on in the background. This is an old video, but I was watching the attempts to get the 6-second pass. Steve Morris, man, he builds hell of an engine. Have you seen that new Built Block LS that he's got coming out? I think he said he was doing like 4 or 5 of them this year. They start at like $80,000. Should be pretty crazy. It got really quiet in here. Nobody's talking. We're at 27.5 minutes anyway, so we're going to wrap it at 30. So I can get back to finishing up some wiring before my ball joints and half shaft show up. So maybe I can get this thing back on its wheels. Which the aftermarket wheels I bought still have not shown up. They're not going to be here before race week. Makes me sad. What do you think? Cletus is the big block? That's probably a $40,000 or $50,000 big block. Yeah, I'll check it out, Chevy for Life, for sure. If I get into it, I'll let you guys know. Maybe we can figure out how to do an online server one night or something and get everybody in and race, do a demolition derby or something. That'd be fun. Okay, I got to turn this crap off. But yeah. 07 Silverado 5.3 Gym 4 Stage 1 non-DOD cam. Piston slap. One feels like bad plug wires at part throttle. Knock retard really not showing anything. See you, Saxon. Thanks, brother. Gen 4 Stage 1 non-DOD piston slap when cold feels like bad plug wires at part throttle. Dude, knock sensor data is knock sensor data is knock sensor data, Gutless. But what you can do, I mean, log the misfires for one. If you're not already logging misfires, that'll give you an indication whether or not you got any bad plug wires or if you're getting hesitation from misfire. Because you can log misfire by individual cylinder, current and history. I would log both. Current history is probably a better insight. I don't know. At some point in time, the current becomes history, but history has a wider window where it accumulates. So try that. And if you are worried about your knock sensors not showing anything, increase your sensitivity on your knock sensors and see if it picks up anything that way. Gen 4, if I delete VATS on my Escalade, does that stop the need for a security key anymore? I believe so, VJ. Do I have a timing video for boost? Not for a 4th gen, but boosted or not boosted, just take 6 degrees out to start and then go see if you have any knock. Start with 6 degrees out. You should be safe. Don't go wide open throttle yet, but start there. Work your way up, kind of like you do whenever you do fuel tuning. Work up to 3,000, work up to 4,000, work up to 5,000, but take 6 degrees out of the entire table. Make sure that your low octane table has another 4 degrees taken out of it, so you have some fallback, so you're just not running. That's where people also get burned, is by having the high octane table copied over to the low octane table. And so whenever they get into knock, it doesn't pull any timing when it needs to pull timing. So, okay, 31 minutes in. I'm going to get back to work. Hopefully parts show up here soon, but I still got plenty to do until that happens. You guys know the drill. Thanks for stopping by the garage. Remember, ABT, always be tuning. In stream, in stream.